Shut up and sit down.
Welcome back to Loud, Confused, and Ready. We are your hosts, Sam,
Cam,
Kip,
Elliot.
Next segment is going to be Civil War. Civil War, which is something we just watched last night, which is fantastic. Yes.
good.
Yes.
I
No,
don't know
the
if-
fact that we watched
fantastic
it
isn't
last
the
night
word.
was fantastic.
Yes.
I have not made any sort of review rating on it just yet, but we all went as a group, and that was a thing that we did.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Elliot,
I did enjoy going to that as a group. Yeah.
yes. Elliot,
As did I.
what did you think about the movie in and of itself?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was definitely a good matchup. They split the sides pretty well, in my opinion. So it made for a really good combat scene.
Yeah.
About halfway through
There will be excessive spoilers in this, I'm assuming. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Just so everybody knows.
Okay. So for future views,
What I say is we do non-spoiler thoughts and then open it up to spoilers.
okay,
That makes
we
sense.
can do that.
That way we can have people listen to our thoughts, but not.
Yeah. Oftentimes when people do reviews, they'll sort of do a non-spoiler and a spoiler review. So that would be
So
good.
this is non-spoiler.
This is gonna be the
I'll yell
completely
spoilers
restricted.
when we start spoiling.
spoiler.
Earmuffs.
Wait, is the text a spoiler?
What?
No, we'll get to that when we talk about it specifically.
Because I feel like I should do that every time.
No, it's not.
Every time
It's their fault.
there
so
is
no,
a
it's
spoiler, I think that I should put that and just like spoiler, spoiler.
You should do that.
I will do that.
Okay.
That's what's gonna happen
Good.
now. Because oh my god.
So Elliot, you like the split of the teams, and how did you feel about? I'm curious about this because I didn't ask you. How did you feel about the action specifically, the CGI and the fights and stuff like that?
Oh, the CGI kind of hurt me in this one. I felt it deep, cut me pretty hard.
Agreed.
Aside from the CG, I thought the fighting was pretty well done, very well choreographed. Falcons, the CG on Falcon, just like in the beginning, I wanted to pull my eyes out.
Yeah.
Whenever he was flying and it showed like the background of him flying, it looked like those old. Like, you know, the old Windows screensaver where it's like the stars coming at you. Like that's what it reminded me of. It just looks so like it looked just like you took a picture and like blurred it.
Yeah.
He had some really cool moves, but just the CG in it was so funny. There's one part in the beginning where he was using it as like a shield, but before you really saw that's what he was doing, he walked by Captain America with his back to the audience. And he had like his wing up kind of up in front of him. And I remember looking at it like, what in the fuck is he doing? Like, why is his wing up? Like, I didn't understand it because he never saw him
Using it defensively.
Yeah, right. He never had it up as a shield before that. He just kind of walked away from the audience with it up.
Which was
and it
cool.
just looked all goofy. Yeah, that was pretty badass the way he was using it as a shield. But I just remember that.
It's nice that they're taking these characters that they've shown before and kind of showing them using their abilities in a new way instead of like
in a way that
Eagle Man's flying again. Like, hooray!
Someone
he can fly
individually
places.
using their stuff, whereas instead of just being like, oh, he's here too. So,
yeah, right. And then you see him like run by in the background. It's like, cool, he's there.
I see him also contributing.
Yeah.
Black Panther was fucking awesome.
Black Panther was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the. I wasn't as bothered by the CG, mostly because I've enjoyed movies that had really shitty CG,
Right.
and I am able
More
to suspend.
disappointed.
I am able to
Yeah.
suspend my disbelief in that because I was going to these movies thinking like there's going to be some really stupid looking shit, and I'm just going to go, yeah, that's it. I mean, that's what's happening. But what really disappointed me was the dialogue.
100%.
I mean, it was like. I think it was probably about 30% of the way through the movie before they said anything that endeared me to any of the characters.
Yeah, that was natural, like a natural.
That Volkswagen scene
wasn't cut and paste. Like, it feels like there wasn't a unique line of dialogue in that movie.
Yep. Yeah.
For the most
part.
part.
And that's
For a good
kind
chunk
of
of
like
it.
I think who was it that directed this movie?
It's a good question.
Good.
fuck if I know. Fact check.
I'd like to know that because I thought that.
I'm not saying that the only person with the computer out in front of them is you, but you're the person with the computer out in front of you.
Look, you
Phones
guys,
work well.
you guys have phones. You guys have phones. My computer's doing
You
shit.
want to hear him tapping through those keys?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
kind of do.
I could do that. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, I agree. There weren't really any good like one-liners in it. Nothing really stood out to me other than that scene where Bucky asked Falcon to move his seat up.
Yeah.
And
That was pretty funny.
yeah, that was really hilarious. There's a couple,
But it was
other
like
spots.
3 seconds, and then you're like, okay.
Yeah, I know. But it was
now we're
really
back
good.
to everybody.
Okay, in my opinion, though, from then on, the dialogue became more
Yes,
natural.
it did pick up
yeah.
much more.
I think they sort of had to establish the somber tone, or they thought they needed to.
Joe Russo and Anthony Russo directed it.
Oh, the Russo brothers.
Yeah, I know them.
Yeah.
Right?
I think they grew up
Don't
down the
I?
block.
Have they done anything else that any of us?
I'm not going to look up anything on them.
I am.
I'm just curious. I just want to know one other movie.
The other
they've done.
Captain Americas, Yumi and Dupree. Oh, Community.
Okay, they probably guest directed. I'm assuming.
I
on
would
that.
assume, yeah.
But I thought the other Captain America movies were good. I just, it's like when you think of like Avengers and like kind of how their back and forth was when they were all together, it felt to me more like more personable and stuff like that. And this didn't really have that.
No.
And I understand there was a conflict between the two sides, but there was more they could have played against each other. Like we're fighting. We don't want to fight, but we kind of have to.
The only one they
we
really
still understand why the other person is doing what they're doing. But there wasn't really much of that. There was a little bit, but not much.
Yeah. The way I put it, I give it a 5 out of 10 for the first half of the movie.
Yeah.
And 8 out of 10 for the second half.
Okay.
Leaving it at about a 6.5 to 7 out of 10 overall. I was honestly bored through the first half of the movie.
Yeah.
Like I really didn't care about anybody. It was boring. It was slow. Even the first action sequence was like meh. Again, the CG, like you guys said, was just the action sequences. So the way I think it was what caused issues is it almost felt like they focused too hard on shooting it for 3D. I've seen a lot of movies where it's like, okay, we're going to do it for 3D, but we're not going to focus on the 3D. We're going to just use it as a subtle effect. And that works great when you do it that way. This one, it felt like, oh, we got to do 3D. So every camera angle has to be directly behind where it's coming straight at us or something like that. And additionally, it felt like the camera was constantly shaking more than it ever should.
Not so much the camera, but like I saw that like specifically Iron Man's suit was always shaking. It was like his head wasn't actually like on point with where the armor was.
Yeah,
going.
there was
So
like a kink in his neck that was like weird. Like
Yeah, he bobbleheaded a little bit.
yeah,
but it was so. And then so sorry not to.
No, that's
step
great.
on
You're
your
fine.
toes. But I thought the CG throughout the movie was poor.
Lacking.
There wasn't a part where I was like, yeah, it actually looks realistic now, because like the shield doing special tricks, Falcon's suit, he's flying and stuff like a helicopter going through the air, and it's like, what?
Right.
Why does that look like just a picture that you are now superimposing and moving across?
You know what it probably is? I mean, think back to the first 2 Captain America movies. Like, how many other heroes were in those movies?
that's a good point.
Were there any? I mean, I don't think that the Russos
special
necessarily
effects
had
were low.
experience with directing
True.
18 other
And then
other
honestly,
heroes.
for the first Captain America, the CG for his transformation was awful.
It was
the
very
way
bad.
his face looked and everything was just god awful. But like my point is, when you see the precedent set by the previous Avengers and those types of movies, you as someone who's making this movie have to at some point say, okay, well, if you can't make this as a special effects group or whatever, you can't make this. We're going to go with someone who can, because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of people who can make it just as well as anyone else who doesn't make it look like it's what's the word? Garbage.
Yeah.
So
True. But I think a part of, there's a lot of different hands that go into that pot when you're talking about CG. I mean, yes, CG is being someone who's good at CG is a big part of it. I think also you have to I mean, they kind of have to work with what they're given too. So if what they're shooting isn't like appropriate for it, like they kind of have to know going into it what the CG is going to look like, because they give them the stuff and then they make the CG stuff.
Right.
So if they're mixing it in with film or whatever, I think a lot of the stuff in the movie was more practical effects, and I think a lot of the old ones were too, like the old Captain Americas. There wasn't a lot of CG in those after he transformed, because he's just a dude in a suit.
In Iron Man and the Avengers, didn't he, like, for most of the movies, have an actual suit that he wore and walked around in and acted in, and not just a CG one where he was just in a black unitard with balls on it?
I think it was practical for some of the shots. I don't think
Which one, Iron Man?
In any of the Iron Mans and the some of the Avengers, right? So I like, for instance, I'm
but you're
pretty
talking
sure
about Iron Man specifically.
Yes, Iron Man specifically, right?
I think he usually was wearing a portion of the suit that was visible.
Yes.
And most
which
of the time.
goes a long way.
Which was then touched up by CG,
Exactly.
not
Which is fine. Yes.
Which, as we determined with Green Lantern, entirely CG costumes don't work
Which
because
is
they
the
look
best thing ever.
stupid.
Yeah.
And I agree. And the changes to, I mean, this is a minor point and really a personal preference, but the changes they made to the Iron Man suit made it look worse, in my opinion. The yellow streaks down the side made it look really weird, and like he was like a skeleton, and it was just, eh.
Elliot, what'd you think about Spider-Man CG? Did you like it?
Was it your favorite?
Did you
Why
like
were
it?
his eyes moving?
Well, it's supposed, like, they took it off of the Deadpool thing, right?
Yeah.
Because in the comics and a lot of the animated series, his eyes actually do move in the suit. But
It was too much.
it was gimmicky.
Well, they
very gimmicky. They made a comment in the movie. Everybody's got their gimmicks.
yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
no,
that.
they did allude to that in the movie too. Why his eyes?
No. They alluded to why he had. Well, this is
Yeah. Okay, we're going to spoiler time.
spoiler time.
Spoilers!
Okay. All right. The segue spoiler was that the text going into every scene changing the location was font 3,485 size.
I meant to ask you that about that when the movie was going. Like, this movie is obviously at a very high resolution,
Right.
like as far as processing. So I wonder what font size they
Yeah,
actually used
5
to fill the
billion.
entire screen
5
with
billion.
fucking text.
With block
One word.
white.
It was like,
one word.
but like we said before, they were like, oh, we need to go to Queens now. And it's like, Queens! And you're like,
It would just
why?
pop up huge, and we
Why?
were cracking up.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
It could have been done really, even with that font. I feel like I've seen that font and that situation
The font
used,
was fine.
but it's where they like incorporate it into the scenery, where they have like the N go partially behind a building and the M partially going, but they didn't do that. It was literally just superimposed, giant, full screen,
Yeah, the
white
font-
block.
The font was
text.
fine. The size was atrocious, and they didn't do anything with it.
It was boring. It was, and half the time it didn't matter where they were.
Yeah, if you took
really
that text and shrunk it down and just put it in the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah,
There.
or, yeah,
Oh,
or
shit,
just
You got your
Going all over the
establishing
world.
shot, and then you can go, oh, yeah, that's
Oh, cool.
where
They're
that
in
is.
another part of the world again.
Right, exactly. You could have literally made it an eighth of the size and then just left it in the middle of the screen, and no one would have gave a shit.
No,
I am kind of upset that at the end, when they were in Black Panther's hideout there, they didn't put it up on the screen. With exactly
Congo!
No, it should have just said in big block text, Black Panther's hideout.
They didn't have enough room on the screen for that. They would have
Meanwhile,
to reduce the
in
font.
Africa-
We're going to have to turn this down to font 3000. Huh?
No, they actually just they put all of that,
Compromise.
but each word is stacked on top of one another.
Yeah,
so
so
it's just a block of white.
Well, they could have just like done it one at a time, and then the entire like dialogue in that time would just had text
I
over
think
it.
the entire credit should have been done in that size font. It'd take them 24 hours to get through them.
Captain America Civil War becomes a 4.5-hour movie because you got to sit through the credits for an hour and a half.
Okay, here's my other point I was going to make earlier. I don't think this should have been a Captain America movie.
True. I think it should have been Avengers.
It shouldn't have been. It should have been an Avengers
do.
movie. The feeling, the tone, everything was different from the Captain America movies, and it felt like it should have. I kept catching myself going, "Wait, this is a Captain America movie. This should be an Avengers." Like,
But I don't
Should have
think
been
it
a
had
Winter Soldier movie.
I don't think it had enough personality to be an Avengers movie. Like, the only thing that made it an Avengers movie was that a lot of them were in it.
yeah.
Listen. If it would have been an Avengers,
And I agree
movie,
with you, too.
If
I
it would
agree
have been
that it
an
should have been a
Avengers
Captain
movie, somebody else would have directed it. It would have been a different script. It would have been maybe the same overall plot and everything, right? But the script would have been different, the direction would have been different, the CG would have been different.
I like the way the Avengers movies went, and I wish whoever did those did the.
Yes.
Spider-Man and Ant-Man were not brought into the Avengers in the movie either, so that's
True.
That would be kind of why I would see it not as an Avengers.
Okay,
But
yeah.
they would have been brought in here, though.
Here's what it should have been, in my opinion. Marvel's Civil War.
Yeah, but directed by who, though?
I don't care.
Somebody besides because those apparently
people.
someone fucked up. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you say I don't care,
know.
the Russo brothers did it and they didn't do that great.
Right.
So
I'm just saying, branding wise,
Okay.
I think the branding of making it Captain America wasn't quite right. In my opinion.
I have an issue because I love Martian Manhunter as far as the character.
He's DC, isn't he?
Huh?
Martian Manhunter's DC.
Sorry, Vision. It's the same
Oh,
character.
Vision, yeah.
Vision.
I was
it's
like,
the
I don't know
same. It's
where he-
literally
Like,
the
what
same
the
That is
character.
the
fuck are
same
you
character.
talking about?
Literally the same
I
exact
don't know that
character.
they're the same exact character.
Yeah, fight me.
One's green and one's pink.
You're
Red.
right.
Yeah,
One's
he's like
red.
One's named Martian Manhunter and one name's Vision.
Yeah.
They're not
Same exact
exactly
powers,
the same.
same exact character dynamic in the team, but they're different.
One wears a blue cape and the other one... What color is Vision's cape?
green,
Green and red, I think.
green, red.
Martian
Anyways,
Manhunter's blue.
so
And
Vision
he has a Speedo on.
Yes, colors are colors.
real.
And boots.
He's got boots.
So I'm okay. So he's one of the both of them, the Vision and Martian Manhunter, you motherfucker, are both super overpowered characters. But the reason why they're so acceptable is because they're true neutral, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like in The Watchmen with Mr. Manhattan, right? Super overpowered, but the reason why he's accepted is because he's completely neutral.
Yeah.
He does not give a shit.
He's not gonna fuck with anyone.
Yeah, I really love him. I hate how it was portrayed in this movie. I really hated it, and because
Vision was one of my favorites.
yeah, and there was a lot of like I pick up on a lot of like social justice like undertones in a lot of stuff that I see. Right, it's just something I'm more privy to, and I noticed that a lot of this was, you know, I have hurt feelings on this side. I feel like all these things are getting out of my control. I need someone else to help me out. And if you don't agree with me, I'm going to bully you into it. And the other people were like, no, listen, the facts aren't right. And I'm not going to let you just take over all these things because the facts aren't right. And then that was the entire thing. And so when I'm watching it, I was watching it in kind of like this is today's society. So I don't know if that was getting too deep into it. But
No, that's a very good point.
Because you have Tony Stark, who is very emotionally distraught in the past few films. The Ultron one, he was very distraught because he was like, oh, everybody needs to be in check and we're completely screwing everything up. Like we need to be able to police the world because we're not going to be here forever. I'm very emotional, which was great because it plays on the emotional aspect of a human, right? Which is what these are supposed to be. And then it just seems like he's going more and more off the reservation. And then when this came up, he was like, oh, not only did I lose my parents, and that was, you know, really something that I just mentioned just now, but on top of that, you know, like I feel like everybody here needs to be in check because people are dying. It's like, well, people were dying, which is why you got into
the parent.
this
The parent
business.
part of that, I think, specifically was very heavy-handed.
Yes.
Yeah, it was hand-fisted a lot
It
of
was
the time.
like it was. I think that was included just so they could have the
ending.
end twist
Yeah.
of them going, "Whoa, he did it!" And it's like he didn't give a shit about all the other people he killed. So I didn't understand. When I was watching it, I was thinking, "Oh, he's trying to get Iron Man to fight him."
Yeah.
But he's not gonna because he's too smart for that. But
That
then he
ending
just fucking flipped out.
was kind of a disappointment too, because it was
Yeah.
like I expected them to go fight that crew of dudes and chick, and then it just
That was it.
fizzled
Was
out
I thought it was
and
cool that it was a twist that they weren't there to fight them.
Yeah, the
and that
misdirection
something else
in that respect was cool.
was cool, but then the way it went, I didn't like the fight between.
I think that's why I'm totally.
I liked the
disappointed by it.
beginning of the fight between Bucky, Iron Man, and Cap, like where they were throwing the shield back and forth.
Yes.
Each other. That was
Yeah.
super sweet. And then after that, it got really lame.
I want to say
that
that.
was so stupid because Tony Stark's like tells his suit to like
Counter.
determine his moves,
And his
and then he let his suit
combat
like
moves.
autopilot fight for him. Like
Yeah.
that was kind of lame. Like,
Well, I mean,
really
that's what he does, though.
Yeah.
Like, as far as, you know, that's how he beats his
I
enemies.
did not like Tony Stark in this movie, and that
really
makes me
didn't, yeah.
really sad because, and I know
He's one of the
I know
best parts
he's
of the Avengers.
right.
Like,
He's
as
one
far
of
as
my
watching him.
of Marvel. Period. Iron Man has always been one of my favorites. Robert Downey Jr. does a fantastic job portraying Tony Stark. I think he got shit for the writing in this one and the character direction. I feel like, yes, he was emotional in the previous ones, but I feel like this turn to like, you know, being the
delusional.
Yeah, like he literally is.
So
how can people not look at him and go like,
he's
"You're in no
unbalanced.
place to be making these decisions, dude. Like, what are you doing? Like, you made 10 poor. You just pointed out that you made 10 poor decisions in the last 3 years,
and are pseudo divorced,
and now you're making decisions again. Yeah. No, we don't want to listen to you. Like, it just.
Plus, who's the lead of the Avengers, right? Everybody can say it's Captain America for the most part, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
He is the leader.
He is the captain.
Yeah, the captain. And who is calling the shots? Iron Man. Which is ridiculous.
It just didn't make...
Yeah, that's a...
Especially since he wasn't even a part of the Avengers. I mean...
He was a
touched
consultant,
on right,
for the most part.
But he's not the one running it.
Yeah.
Like, that's...
Okay, so speaking of the CG and how it was all that, I looked at it every time that I saw like a discrepancy and it was like, oh man, that looks completely terrible. I thought, how much were the actors busting their ass to get the choreography correct? And just, it probably looked real badass if you just took the CG out of it and left the wires in. Just leave all that, because the actors probably did their part to make it look real badass.
Mm-hmm. There was a lot of it that was practically filmed, like I was saying before. I mean, a lot of the stuff that they did was just like, I mean, especially like in the beginning of it when they're all rolling around on cars and
fighting the mercs and
stuff.
The mercs, that was
parkour.
There wasn't it was hardcore parkour.
Yeah. So no, like you leave that in there and that would have been great, and then you superimpose all of your CG shit on it and you cheapen what the actors did. And I'm thinking, if I'm an actor and I busted my ass for 10-hour days or 12-hour days to do these fight scenes over and over and over again because you have to do 30 takes or whatever, and then I'm going to sit here and watch the premiere and my suit's not even on my body the entire time, fuck you.
How am I gonna move like I have a suit on if I don't have a suit on?
Right.
So he's gonna make some sort of movement and they're like, well, we got a CG over that, even though the suit literally couldn't be able to do that.
And the other thing too is I look at many of the series and stuff that I watch, like even on Netflix, like if I'm watching Daredevil or if I'm watching Flash or anything like that, I watch the action scenes and I think practically. I like, you know, the idea of flair and stuff like that, but I like fighting in real life, right? I like doing that stuff, and so when I do that, I think practically. If I'm going to run from A to B, I'm not going to have to do a super sweet flip over a cart that's in my way when there's, 2 feet of completely unoccupied space that I could walk around and run around it.
With Black Widow specifically.
Exactly, yes.
When she's chasing the dude through the beginning, whatever you want to call it.
Captain America does it too. He does, like different, a 540 spin or whatever and drops a kick. No, you don't need to do that spin to do the kick. It doesn't add anything to your momentum.
Other than looking super fake.
And taking a long time. Yeah. Like in real life, if you tried to do
a guy would just take a step backwards. He'd just go, oh, exactly.
What the fuck, he's spinning at me. Oh my god, I have no idea what's coming next.
When I when I had a lot of like martial arts and stuff, we would always say that a high risk, medium reward, right, for kicks. Okay, and it takes a lot of your energy to do a kick. Instead of like a little jab or whatever, because you have to like get it all the way up in the mid or high range, and they see it coming. It's really easy to telegraph.
And now you are vulnerable with standing on only one leg.
You deal with like people who do taekwondo. You
spread your legs for them to punch.
Yeah, you deal with people who do taekwondo who like spend years trying to make them lightning fast kicks, and that's something in and of itself. But like for the most part, if you're dealing with someone doing a kick, you see it coming, you just back, just a little bit back. And it misses you, and then they're exhausted, and you punch them. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think overall, I would say that the story was average. The dialogue was poor. The CG was, I would say, poor to average.
I don't think that you should give a rating on CG because you're just like, I don't really care. I understand.
I mean,
you can still give
fair enough
a rating on it.
See,
I'm judging him though.
It's not it's not that I thought it was good. It's that I didn't care it was bad, but I could still identify that it was bad.
Fair enough.
I thought that Spider-Man was really cool. I don't know if I might have been one of awesome. Two of us.
The character development and the actual actor I thought were amazing in that.
Yes,
the only bad part,
very good job.
The only bad part about the Spider-Man was his CG. I thought,
and but I did appreciate that. I mean, even though it wasn't well implemented, I appreciate that they did more shit like this is what Spider-Man would do. He'd be flipping all over the fucking place, doing cartwheels.
He's
and
goofing off,
and doing,
he's silly,
and joking, but also like doing a lot of acrobatic stuff. Like that's what Spider-Man originally was he had the webbing and he used it to throw himself all over the place and tie guys up and do all these kind of elaborate sort of cool tricks to get people to stop fighting. He wasn't like, in Spider-Man, he just a lot of times it's just like a straight swing and then like he kicks a guy or punches a guy.
I like that they are turning him back into the super genius kid instead of the Tobey Maguire. Oh, it's just inherently I have webbing and I do all these things.
I do photography.
Yeah, photography.
Photography.
I have pants on and I do photography.
I've got to put on my photography.
He's supposed to do photography. Spider-Man. Always photography.
Yeah, but that's like all he's got.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yes.
So IMDb 8.5 out of 10. Whoa. Rotten Tomatoes 91% for Civil War.
Yeah.
Who said at least is better than Deadpool? Who said that?
Okay, so when I was before the movie yesterday, I was sitting out in the lobby waiting for everybody else to get there. I had my popcorn and my pop. I was just sitting there on my phone, and some people came out from the previous showing and were standing right by the front door. And Elliot, can you stop? Thank you. It's so distracting. It's just a subtle, like
completely zoned out, listening to you. Like, what am I doing?
Elliot's like, I can't wait to hear this story.
So some people came out from my reach. It's all good. Some people came out from the previous.
Sorry, I just laughed because I just saw what it was he was playing.
Was it the Velcro tie?
It's literally a strip of Velcro.
The most noisy thing.
Pulling apart over time.
So whoever put it within my reach, it's their fault.
Okay, take away all Elliot's toys. All right, Cam, continue.
So these people came out from the showing of Civil War and were standing talking about it. I was trying not to listen too intently because I didn't want spoilers, but there was one guy that repeated 3 times to 3 different people in the course of the conversation that I'd give it about a 7 out of 10. At least it was better than Deadpool. And that threw me for a multitude of reasons. Like, hey, I didn't know what the movie was going to be. So it's like 7 out of 10. Okay, I can see that happening. That's whatever. But then at least it's better than Deadpool. Really?
Which means that he thought that Deadpool was a 6 or under.
Right. Which
is, like Sam said, Deadpool's not for every person, but I thought it was well.
If you're going to see Civil War,
I didn't say that. Number one, I didn't say that. Alex said that. I said, sure, it's not for everybody. It's not for the people who hate their lives and want to commit suicide. Yeah. That's what I said.
Yeah.
See, I didn't hear the second part. Yeah. I thought you were making
Alex was trying to be neutral. He was like, well, it's not for everybody. I'm like, no, buddy. It's. If you hate yourself.
I do agree though that there's a lot of families that aren't going to take their children to see Deadpool, where they might be more likely.
This was a guy about our age.
Right.
This was a guy.
That's just
and he probably hates
everybody else's defense.
He must.
Yeah.
He must.
Yeah. He probably doesn't like anything about his life.
Yeah, that guy.
I hope he hears this. I hope he listens to this and he knows it was me.
He probably sucks.
Because I did quote him exactly in that phrase.
I don't know how he could possibly figure that out, but if he does, everybody hates you. They don't like your opinions.
If you figure this out, random guy at the movie theater, I want you on the show.
You're an asshole.
I want you to... I want to figure out how you did this. How did you just take in all of this? Like, I will find you. I will find you.
That was one of the more memorable lines of the night, though.
Yeah.
There were a couple of them, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if the most memorable line of the night was not in the movie, it was some dude standing in the lobby, then probably the dialogue could have been better.
Also, for the people who don't mind spoilers and have listened to this far and have not watched the movie, there are 2 ending...
Yes, credit scenes.
Credits, yeah. So you gotta watch it as one immediately after the movie ends.
They do like 20 credits and then do one.
Yeah, they do the entire. Yeah, they do the entire credit scroll, and then there's another one. So stay for the movie, or stay for the credits, I guess.
Yeah. The last, thoughts on the after ones.
The first one seemed like it should have just been part of the end of the movie.
Yes, or not even necessary. Or no, I guess it was to get him out of the picture. I didn't really like how they took care of it. I thought they should have.
The logistics of having an entire mountain that is a panther, though.
Where's the Black Panther's secret hideout? Oh, I think it's over there by that gigantic statue.
No
of the
one look
panther.
at the Misty Congo. Why? Because there's a giant panther.
Yeah,
He's scary. He scares them away. They're like, oh, I don't want to go over there. There's
I don't like
Panther.
Mist. Oh, well, you're certainly not going to like this. I also don't like Black Panthers. All right, Dave, go.
I
go,
do
Dave.
want to mention that the CG on Ant-Man I felt was all right.
yeah,
fair
I
enough.
liked him.
It was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
I want to see that movie now. Even
And when I was the same way. I have not seen Ant-Man.
You bastards.
I had no interest in seeing Ant-Man.
out.
I
had some.
Shut your mouth. You shut your mouth. I was not interested. Now I am.
It is really good.
Just
I was
because
the
of
same
his
way.
scenes in that movie, I
Paul
thought,
Rudd.
oh, okay, this concept kind of makes
he's
sense.
amazing.
I can watch pretty much anything with Paul Rudd in it.
Yeah, I mean, I like Paul Rudd as an actor. He seems cool. That character seems really well done, and the powers,
awesome.
the powers seem to have uses I'd never even thought of. That makes it interesting to me. So
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't bring any ants with him, though. That kind of was disappointing.
That's kind of like overworking the situation. And
No.
it seems
No,
like
it's not.
no, some
listen,
ants
listen.
versus some spiders. Just like
They seem like they were
Spider-Man
having.
controls
He could have
spiders.
flown. He could have flown on Auntie.
They seem like they
Actually,
had. And
that
that's
is one of
true.
his
They
powers.
could have. Auntie should have been in there, but they seem like
bullshit.
the directors and everybody seemed like they were having a hard enough time containing what they had. And then you add in like ants, and they're like, I don't know
probably
what to
wouldn't
do.
have
They probably
CG'd
did.
those
They
ants
probably
as
said,
well.
"Hey, we should have ants in here," and they were like, "No, if you put ants in there, I'm gonna shit myself. I don't know what to do here. How do I direct this now? I don't know."
yeah.
What's the face?
Pooped him.
Pooped him.
So there really was no resolution to the movie. Is that kind of
No,
my
it
feeling?
was a. It was
It's kind of a stalemate.
It was a lead into the next one. They're gonna have another.
Okay, because it didn't feel complete. Like it almost felt.
It was like we're all against each other, but still buddies. Get ready for the next movie.
Still gonna look up. Yeah, I guess I don't know because I thought it was gonna wrap up with Cap dying. I thought in that last battle, Captain America was gonna die, and then Bucky was gonna take up the mantle, and everybody was gonna be over it because Captain died.
Who was it that said that Falcon also becomes Captain America at one point? Was that you?
That was me. That's the newer telling.
That's the new.
Right.
Yeah, the new Marvel stuff is him becoming it. But the first, originally in the original comics, it was Bucky that took the mantle.
How does he become? I mean, he's not. Other than having a suit and being an army guy, he's not.
A suit.
He's not
A suit.
really.
Either a suit or I mean, he might get modified as well because they probably perfected the serum, or he accidentally gets.
Oops! I'm gonna eat this.
I
in
will
my
say,
cereal.
I don't know.
Steve Rogers at the end was not wearing the Captain America suit when he went to that prison and freed everybody. So that could be.
He also gave
That's
up
true.
his shield.
Yeah.
It's true. He did give up his shield.
Last thoughts, Elliot.
Last thoughts.
Yeah, from the movie.
Overall, I thought it was pretty enjoyable. I mean, it was what I thought it was going to be. Just a fun, good battle between the Avengers and their friends that they brought along. Yeah, definitely not as good as the past few Marvel movies I've seen, but yeah, I'd put it up there. I mean, it's still better than most Iron Man movies to me.
Okay.
What?
Kip.
At least it's better than Deadpool.
At least, at the very least, it's better than 6 out of 10 at that guy's grading scale.
Yeah, he's cool. So my final thoughts are that I enjoyed it a lot. I'm a lot easier going about the CG and all that kind of stuff. And I remember just a couple of times being like, man, I wish the dialogue was better, but it didn't really distract me. I think the overarching, like the action scenes are the things that I go in for a Marvel movie. Mm-hmm. And I thought those were done well. As far as the choreography, the powers working against each other, stuff like that. And again, the CGI I can kind of look over. So it was enjoyable for me to watch at the time. I probably would not watch it again unless I was really bored.
Okay. Kip. I'm sorry, Kim.
Mild disappointment.
Yeah.
No, I'm not super disappointed. It was my expectations had kind of been going up last week, and it didn't quite meet them. I did enjoy it. It was all right. I'd put it just a slight notch below Thor 2.
Okay.
Which is actually a good movie.
Which, as everybody knows, is the best Marvel movie ever.
I've never seen any of the Thor movies.
the best ever.
I've never seen Thor.
So, I know, I'm just giving you shit.
Thor doesn't exist.
Who's Thor?
Mine would be I would not pay to see it in movies if I had never seen it, and I wouldn't rent it. I would probably watch it if someone else rented it and I was at their house.
Damn.
Wow.
That's pretty cold for a movie.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't even rent this fucking piece of shit.
Well, like, so when I watched it, like, I find a lot of, I don't know, it's my personal preference. I find a lot of stuff wrong with it and stuff. And I think if you're going to sell this movie and make millions upon, maybe even closer to billions.
Fifth biggest opening.
If you're going to make that much and the actors are going to get paid more than any public servant ever, or like regions of public servants combined, then I expect a lot. It's not, hey, you're only paying $8 to see this movie. It's, no, listen, they're making a shit ton of money for making this and then selling it to all of you people who are watching it, and it comes out looking like crap. Or, less than the other Avenger movies. If it's less than the other Avenger movies,
it didn't meet the bar that had been set by the previous Marvel.
I still enjoyed a lot of the characters, though. I mean, the characters that I thought were going to be sweet were sweet. I'm not disappointed in it. It's just, I didn't let it get me too hyped. Like, I thought it was going to be a pretty decent movie. I didn't think it was going to be better than like Guardians or Deadpool by any means. And
I didn't expect that.
And I just went into it thinking it was going to be a fun, good time.
Exactly.
Civil War.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly
Let's beat
what
the
it was.
shit out of
Like,
each
it
other.
would have a bunch of guys
if
fighting.
the first half wouldn't have been slow as hell.
I did like the combat in the beginning with those mercs, though. I thought that was pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
That one main merc was pretty badass.
It's all right.
Yep.
I was kind of hoping he was going to kill Steve Rogers right in the beginning. Just fucking off him.
That would be
been
a
the
pretty
great-
amazing twist.
Like, if he would have
first
died-
10 minutes, he's dead.
if he would have died in like the first half of the movie at any point, and then they were like, "Oh shit! Not only do we have to figure out what to do to replace him, but also to deal with this legislation," then that would have been. I would have been like, "Yes."
I probably would have been all in on
I would have
that.
watched. All right, but we got to wrap it up.
Yep.
I think that's pretty much it. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Also, bye.
Thank you for watching Loud, Confused, and Ready. Please like, comment, and subscribe to see more videos from us. You can find us on social media, including Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Look in the description below for more information. Thanks for watching, and stay awesome.